depression, but that hasn't stopped it from unleashing a torrent of rain. Flash flooding and heavy wind knocking down trees, power, and public transit systems. We are covering it all as the storm makes its way up the Northeast. Plus, another arrest in the attempted bombing plot of that Taylor Swift concert in Vienna as the superstar gets ready for her shows in London. How security officials are now responding and whether we can expect protocols around these huge concerts to change. And
I just lost it. I couldn't believe it. Not my son. Why? Why? I still got those questions.
there were no charges in the fatal shooting of Michael Brown Jr. 10 years ago, the court citing a lack of evidence. But that hasn't stopped Brown's mother from fighting for justice. Tonight, we sit down with her for an exclusive interview on how she's turned her grief into action this past decade. Good evening. I'm Phil Lipoff, in tonight for Linsey Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We are following those stories and much more, including the chilling images of a passenger plane just dropping from the sky. The plane plunging to earth near Sao Paulo, crashing and going up in flames tonight. Officials are working to identify the cause while family and friends of those on board are in mourning. Plus, the Middle East on edge over a potential attack from Iran on Israel. The Israeli military now says it has killed another Hamas commander in Lebanon. And we are going to take you to the heart of all the magic, an exclusive look into the ultimate Disney fan experience, D23, kicking off in California. But we are going to begin with those chilling images of a passenger plane dropping from the sky. The video is simply alarming. The plane in a slow spin, helplessly plunging to earth near Sao Paulo, Brazil. More than 60 passengers and crew on board, slamming into a neighborhood, homes going up in flames, stunned residents gathering as fire and rescue rush to the scene. Now authorities must try to determine what went wrong. Let's get right to ABC's Maggie Rulli.
Tonight, this was the horrific moment. A plane carrying 61 passengers and crew plummeted to the ground in Brazil, killing everyone on board.
Meu Deus, meu Deus, meu Deus, meu Deus.
The two-engine flight from local airline Boé Pass spinning out of control toward a residential neighborhood. Witnesses horrified.
Ele tá caindo.
This man emotional, saying he was late for the flight and was not allowed on. Now grateful for the airport worker who he says saved his life.
Meu Deus, meu Deus.
The flight taking off from Cascavel in the state of Paraná, bound for Sao Paulo. Shortly before landing, the ATR-72 jet dropping 17,000 feet in just 1 minute.
Usually this sort of thing occurs because the flight crew was not able to maintain or did not maintain enough airspeed. Clearly it was a stall spin. How they got into it is what we don't know.
The devastating wreckage ablaze in this residential neighborhood. At least one house damaged, large parts of the plane smoldering, the debris littering yards. One person on the ground also injured.
Maggie joins us now. Maggie, still so many questions tonight about this horrific crash. What's the reaction in Brazil been so far, and what's ahead for the investigation?
Yeah, well, Phil, today Brazil's president held a minute of silence to honor the victims of that crash. Now, at this point, Brazilian authorities are leading the investigation, but it is possible that U.S. investigators also become involved. Now, right now, the focus remains on finding those black boxes, Phil. They could prove vital in figuring out exactly what went wrong. Phil.
All right, Maggie Rulli tonight. Maggie, thank you. Back here at home, and the deadly storms moving across the Northeast at this hour. A tornado warning just outside New York City. Flash flood threats from South Carolina to New York into New England. The remnants of Tropical Storm Debby delivering one final blow. Heavy rain and wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. The system spawning a confirmed EF1 tornado passing over a shopping center in Delaware, and a flash flood warning and flash flooding in northern Pennsylvania. Authorities warn extensive flooding along the East Coast could last for several days. We'll get the forecast in just a moment, but first, here's ABC's Trevor Ault.
Tonight, swift water rescue teams rushing to save families and pets amid flash flood emergencies as Debby delivers one final punch in the Northeast. Structures swept away in the Brown Rapids in rural Westfield, Pennsylvania near the New York border.
I couldn't walk across if I wanted to.
Mecca Sackrider recording this video while trapped on her porch.
It was a very scary experience for me, honestly. It looks like a tree or something is the only thing holding my vehicle there.
What's left of what was Hurricane Debby hurtling north after slamming the Washington, D.C. area, inundating streets in Alexandria and Annapolis. Tornado warnings forcing people inside the U.S. Capitol complex to shelter in place for a time. Trees crashing onto homes across the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania area.
I was buried in wood and insulation. Yeah, I crawled out of that.
It's right there.
Overnight in Delaware, families taking cover at this strip mall as a tornado touches down in Marshallton. A confirmed EF1 packing 95-mile-an-hour winds, a path of damage up to 150 yards wide and more than a mile long. And while Debby has pulled away from the Carolinas, many roads there are still flooded.
Make no mistake, this stubborn storm and its effects are not over.
Trevor joins us now from New York's LaGuardia Airport. And Trevor, how's Debby continuing to impact travel tonight?
Oh, yeah, Phil, as you know, this storm and several other bouts of severe weather have been causing travel problems all week long. And once again today, we've had about 1,000 flights canceled nationwide and many thousands more delayed. Phil?
Trevor Rawl from LaGuardia tonight. Trevor, thank you. All right, let's get right to meteorologist Lee Goldberg from our partner station, WABC, here in New York. Lee.
All right, Phil, so we're watching that core low that was once Debby all the way up in upstate New York, part of it even going into southeastern Canada, northern New England, and its final act is to soak the Northeast. There's even flood watches still go down to the Carolinas because there's a narrow extension of it along a cold front, and along that can be flash flood warnings. We still have a tornado watch through the evening hours and some gusty winds. We are concerned about some wind gusts that could go 50 miles an hour, some isolated cases of flash flooding, thunderstorms embedded in that system. So overnight we deal with it in New England all the way down to Long Island, but what a difference if you just wake up mid-morning tomorrow. We've cleared things out. It's still humid early, but the humidity starts to drop, clouds break, sun shines back, and it turns into some great August weather that takes us well into next week, where we'll be looking at the tropics again. Did Debby start a flurry of new activity? This has a 60% chance of development. It's a wave out in the central Atlantic. Maybe by late next week or mid next week toward the Lesser Antilles, we may have Ernesto. Phil?
Busy time of year. All right, meteorologist Lee Goldberg, thanks. We want to move now to the race for the White House. Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz are continuing their blitz across battleground states, stopping in Arizona. Donald Trump had an average lead of more than 5 points over President Biden there just a month ago. But as some new polls are showing, this is now a different race. Here's ABC's Selena Wang.
Tonight, former President Trump's campaign plane diverted, forced to land in Billings, Montana due to a mechanical issue, according to the airport. Trump and members of his team seen walking off the plane onto the tarmac, continuing onto Bozeman on a private jet. Both campaigns heading west.
Hey, guys.
With less than 90 days to go, tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris and her new running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, rallying in the key swing state of Arizona in a battle to keep the state blue.
It's the first time I have felt like invigorated and excited about politics.
In July, former President Trump was averaging a 5.5-point lead over President Biden. Now, with Harris in the race, it's a virtual tie. Harris putting the Sunbelt states back in play. Trump in Montana, a solidly red state, in his first stop on the trail this week, making an appearance to boost the Republican candidate trying to unseat Democratic Senator Jon Tester. At his Mar-a-Lago news conference, Trump weighing in on abortion, saying it's going to be a very small issue in the election, while seeming to suggest he's open to blocking access to the abortion pill mifepristone.
Would you direct your FDA, for example, to revoke access to mifepristone? That's one of the things that's been discussed.
You could do things that would supplement, absolutely, and those things are pretty open and humane. But you have to be able to have a vote, and all I want to do is give everybody a vote.
Harris pouncing, saying he has made clear that he'd use the federal government to rip away access to medication abortion, effectively banning abortion nationwide. We will not let him.
Selena joins us from the White House now. Selena, what more are we learning about former President Trump after that diverted landing?
Sources close to former President Donald Trump tell us that everyone on the plane is fine, that this was not an emergency. Donald Trump is still planning to hold his rally in Bozeman, Montana tonight. Meanwhile, the White House announcing that President Biden and Vice President Harris will make their first trip together next week, the first one since she became the Democratic nominee. Phil?
Selena Wang from the White House. Selena, thank you. And there is this tonight, a January 6th rioter who attacked Capitol Police with flagpoles and other makeshift weapons, sentenced to 20 years in prison. David Dempsey was described by prosecutors as, quote, one of the most violent members of the mob. The judge calling his offenses exceptionally egregious before handing down his sentence, noting his lengthy criminal history as well. This was the second longest sentence to date for a January 6th rioter. Only Enrique Tarrio, the former Proud Boys leader, received a longer sentence of 22 years for his actions during the January 6th attack. To the Middle East tonight, while the region braces for a threatened Iranian strike on Israel, the Israeli military confirms it has killed another Hamas commander in Lebanon. This comes as the Biden administration leads a renewed call for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge in Tel Aviv tonight.
Tonight, a new Israeli airstrike deep inside Lebanon, killing a local Hamas commander. A wider war threatens to erupt throughout this region. A car engulfed in a fireball, the IDF saying it took out a senior Hamas commander and recruiter in the Lebanese city of Sidon. Earlier today, Israel's Iron Dome intercepting rockets in northern Israel as Hezbollah threatens to retaliate more forcefully for the killing of its top military commander in Beirut last week, with Iran also vowing retribution against Israel for last week's separate assassination of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. The US urgently pushing for a ceasefire in Gaza to ease tensions. President Biden issuing a joint statement with the leaders of Qatar and Egypt, promising a final proposal next week that resolves issues between Israel and Hamas in a manner that meets the expectations of all parties. And tonight, ABC News obtaining court documents in the case of 5 Israeli soldiers seen in this shocking video broadcast on Israeli TV, allegedly sexually abusing a Palestinian detainee. A judge rejecting those soldiers' appeal to be released from custody after reviewing visual documentation and medical evidence. The US calling for a full investigation.
There ought to be zero tolerance for sexual abuse, rape of any detainee, period.
Tom joins us now from Tel Aviv. Tom, you have an update on the push for this ceasefire. What's the latest there?
Yeah, Phil, ABC News is just getting a fascinating statement from Iranian officials at the UN. They're doubling down on Iran's right to retaliate against Israel for the assassination of the Hamas leader in Tehran. But they're saying that response will be, quote, timed and conducted in a manner not to the detriment of a potential ceasefire in Gaza. Phil?
Interesting. All right, Tom Sufi Burridge from Tel Aviv tonight. Tom, thank you. Meantime, police in Vienna have arrested a third person in connection to a suspected terror act on a Taylor Swift concert. Authorities saying that the 18-year-old man recently had sworn allegiance to the Islamic State and was connected to the main suspect here. Police saying he was on the same social online environment, even though he was not part of the plot. The Interior Minister announcing he has started the process of revoking the man's residency permit, while police are continuing to look into the network of people connected to that main suspect, whose actions led to the cancellation of 3 Taylor Swift concerts in Austria's capital city. Late developments tonight in the deadly police shooting of Sonia Massey in Illinois. The deputy charged with her murder ordered to remain behind bars. The embattled sheriff who hired him announcing his retirement. Here's ABC's Ariel Reshef.
Tonight, growing fallout from the deadly shooting of Sonia Massey by an Illinois sheriff's deputy. The embattled sheriff who hired that deputy is stepping down. Jack Campbell saying in a statement he's retiring, writing, "It has become clear that the current political climate has made it nearly impossible for me to continue effectively in my role." Massey was gunned down in her own home by Deputy Sean Grayson, who responded to her call to police about a possible prowler.
Drop the pot! 14 shots fired. Shots fired! Shots fired!
Grayson, seen here in jail, was fired and charged with murder. But the sheriff has faced calls for his resignation from Massey's family.
Justice for Sonia Massey.
and questions about Grayson's troubling history in law enforcement. Campbell had insisted he'd stay on the job.
I am not resigning.
But he apologized to the community for Massey's death.
We felt sorry. We felt sorry as family and friends. We felt the community.
Phil Campbell saying that he and his family have faced threats. As for former Deputy Grayson, he has pleaded not guilty. His attorneys arguing that he should be released from jail before trial to receive treatment for colon cancer. Phil?
Ariel, thank you. Samsung is recalling more than 1 million electric ranges after reporting of unintentional activation of products that have resulted in fires. Customers who own one of the 30 models of Samsung stoves that the company has been selling since 2013 will be able to get a free set of knob locks or covers to minimize the risk of ignition. The Consumer Product Safety Commission said in a statement that the ranges involved caused about 250 fires, leaving 40 people injured and causing the deaths of at least 7 pets. Now to the Olympics, with another action-packed day moving toward the closing ceremony on Sunday. Sha'Carri Richardson winning her first gold medal, and a new event made its anticipated debut. Meantime, the U.S. men's and women's basketball team and women's soccer team also going for gold this weekend. Our Janae Norman with the latest.
Tonight, Team USA seeing gold. Track stars Gabby Thomas and Sha'Carri Richardson leading the women's 4x100-meter relay.
Here comes Sha'Carri Richardson. Look to the far side.
Richardson coming from behind, clinching her first Olympic gold medal. But the men's relay team falling short, disqualified for a bad baton pass, running without gold medalist Noah Lyles after he tested positive for COVID. U.S. women's basketball squad back in the gold medal game, beating Australia in the semifinals, notching their 60th consecutive Olympic win, and making its long-awaited Olympic debut. Snoop Dogg opening the inaugural competition. The B-girls breaking it down in several rounds. Wow. Ami from Japan taking the first ever gold. The dancers judged on 5 categories, including technique, originality, and execution.
So cool to see. Janae Norman, thank you for that. And there is still much more to get to here on Prime. We are taking you to the heart of all the magic, an exclusive look into the ultimate Disney fan experience, D23, kicking off in California. But up next, 10 years after the fatal shooting of Michael Brown, his mother continues to fight for justice. We are going to sit down with her for an exclusive interview while questions about her son's killing still linger.
I just lost it. I couldn't believe it. Not my son. Why? Why? And I still got those questions. Why?
Whenever news breaks.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack by Hamas.
On the ground in Ukraine, reporting from Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this little town.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
In Iceland, let's go.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines from southern Israel.
Outside the Gaza Strip.
In Beirut.
From the FBI.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
We're still in a flash flood warning. To catch you up with what happened overnight. Police in riot gear arresting dozens of protesters.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about. The migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
Check out the Gator on the 17th hole.
The buzzkill in baseball.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
We are part of an operation.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate. Militants came in from different directions.
Nuclear reactor.
So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag...
Not a carry in it.
How important it made to USA. Great work.
Hi. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ismail? David.
I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
If you were coming of age in the 1980s, the Brat Pack was near the center of your cultural awareness. But for those of us experiencing it from the inside, the Brat Pack was something very different.
The critics agree.
Hated the Brat Pack. What a disaster.
Why did we take it as an offense?
I'm not going to say we were the Beatles or anything. Well, we didn't fill Shea Stadium.
1985, I think we could have.
Let's go.
The ship is incredible. It feels like living in a science fiction movie.
We just saw what no one has seen before.
Wow, look at that.
Oh my gosh. We are heading into the unknown.
Hammer, hammer, hammer.
It doesn't get any more cutting edge than this.
Hey, good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Are you ready? They are ready.
Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here this morning. You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be here.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
Michael, George, Clara, Ginger.
Welcome back. It has been a decade since Michael Brown Jr. was shot and killed by a police officer in Ferguson, Missouri. And while there were never charges stemming from that killing, the court citing a lack of evidence, that hasn't stopped Brown's mother, as you would imagine, for fighting for justice. ABC's DeMarco Morgan traveled to Ferguson for an exclusive interview with Brown's mother, who says she will never stop fighting.
Weeks of civil unrest marked by anger and frustration after the shooting death of 18-year-old Mike Brown Jr. 10 years later, Michael Brown's mother, Leslie McSpadden, says she's still waiting for justice.
What has it been like over the past 10 years for you?
Emotional, sad, heartbreaking, waiting on the promises that were made by certain officials. And 10 years later, those promises have just become broken promises.
One of those broken promises to charge the officer who shot Brown, she says, came from the St. Louis County prosecutor and attorney when he chose not to pursue charges in 2020. The unarmed 18-year-old was shot 6 times by then Ferguson, Missouri police officer Darren Wilson back on August 9th, 2014. It all stemmed from an encounter earlier in the day when Brown was accused of stealing a pack of cigarillos from a nearby liquor store. The killing of Brown ignited weeks of protests, riots, and looting in the small town located 15 miles north of St. Louis, putting Ferguson into the public consciousness. Claims of excessive force and racial bias would lead to demonstrations around the country. Then President Barack Obama even weighing in on the fatal shooting.
I know that many Americans have been deeply disturbed by the images we've seen in the heartland of our country as police have clashed with people protesting.
Can you take us back to that day when you first found out? Where were you?
I was at work. I had an incoming call, and I looked at my phone. It was my sister. She just said to me, "They shot Mike." Those are her only words to me when I clicked over and said hello. My heart dropped, my phone dropped. I saw an officer standing there. He's never seen me, I've never seen him. And I asked him, "Is that my son?" And he said, "Yeah." And I can't tell you anything that happened after that for probably 72 hours, because I died for a second there. I just lost it. I couldn't believe it. Not my son, why? Why? And I still got those questions. Why?
Still grappling with the sudden death of her son, McSpadden has found some relief with the birth of her first grandson.
I'm so proud to be a grandma, and when I found out, I cried because I felt like God was giving me another chance.
Another chance?
Another chance.
At
getting it right if I got it wrong.
Do you feel like you did something wrong?
I think that as a parent, I'm sorry, but you always feel responsible. Because that's your child, that's your baby. You are their protector. So, not saying that I did, but if I did, I appreciate this chance with my grandson that I love so much. He's just crazy about me, too.
Now, a decade later, McSpadden finds herself still seeking accountability for her son's death.
What is the change that you would like to see?
Oh, my God, I would like to see a fair investigation. I would like Mike to receive his due process. I would like the prosecutor to work for Mike as he was supposed to. Give Mike the justice that you know he deserves.
We reached out to the county prosecutor and attorney's spokesperson by phone, and he told us, quote, Wesley Bell promised to review the evidence and would never promise to file charges in any case. And he kept that promise by reviewing the evidence and making a public announcement that he would not file charges. At the end of the day, as was concluded by the DOJ and other investigative agencies, there is not sufficient evidence to justify any charges.
Don't condemn them for being human.
Civil rights attorney Ben Crump represented McSpadden and the family right after Brown was killed.
Everybody to a one in that black neighborhood said that Michael had his hands up, which is the universal symbol of surrender. And I don't care what you allege he did. Once he puts his hands up, you don't kill him.
Wilson claimed Brown attacked him and tried to take his service weapon. The DOJ later determined in an investigative report that it could not confirm Brown surrendered to the officer before he was shot and killed, stating, quote, some of those accounts are inaccurate because they are inconsistent with the physical and forensic evidence. We traveled back to the site where Brown's body would lie in the street for more than 4 hours before police would remove it. The spot now covered with new asphalt.
When you come back here, do the neighbors still know your name? Do they still wave? And
oh yeah, people people recognize me all
everywhere.
over. Yes, sir.
I'm taking a picture with Michael Brown, mama.
McSpadden said she doesn't return to the area often because the trip brings back too many tough memories.
But that first summer he comes to Ferguson when he graduates high school to stay with my mom. A white officer kills him. And you want me to believe that my son was the problem? He didn't have a juvenile record. He didn't have a driver's license. He was just beginning to live his life.
A St. Louis County grand jury would also decline to press charges against Wilson. Wilson resigned from the police force soon after.
I just wish everyone could be peaceful.
In an exclusive interview with ABC News back in 2014, he told our George Stephanopoulos,
You can't perform the duties of a police officer and have racism in you. I help people. That's my job.
Back in July, we reached out to Wilson by phone to request an interview, and he told us he had no comment.
If Officer Darren Wilson was right here, what would you say to him?
I don't think there would be any words. Usually when you use words in a fight, you lose energy. And I would use all my energy on him.
The U.S. Justice Department also chose not to indict the former officer in March 2015 because investigators say they found no evidence to disprove Wilson's belief that he feared for his safety, adding that the investigation, quote, does not support federal civil rights charges.
We've seen this happen to lots of different races. As I traveled this world after everything happened, Mike, I started an organization called Rainbow Mothers because I met mothers that didn't look like me, that experienced the same thing. And what we did have in common was the communities that we came from. Poverty-stricken, low-income housing, people that they think aren't educated. But I will say that it's been outrageously done to those who look like you and I.
McSpadden created the foundation in Brown's name and has awarded thousands of dollars to college-bound scholars, most of the students attending historically black colleges and universities.
How would you like for your son, your baby, to be remembered?
As a great big brother, all of his siblings love him. When it comes to the tech industry, computers, music, he was a lover of all those things, and he was self-taught. He would have been a great contribution to this world had his time not been cut short.
Such a powerful spirit. DeMarco, thank you for that. There is still much more to get to here tonight on Prime. Coming up, a year after the devastating Lahaina wildfires, we are on Maui to bring you a closer look at how this community has come together to build back stronger and more resilient. But next, how can loneliness affect your overall health? We're going to take a look by the numbers.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
An operation to capture ISIS fighters.
This is our Combat Operations Center.
We're approaching the gate now. Militants came in from 4 or 5 different directions.
Operational nuclear reactor.
So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag, there's not a tear in it.
Not a tear in it.
How important is this label right here, Made in the USA? Look at your smile. You're proud of this.
I love this.
Great work.
Hi.
Where are you? Where are you?
Appreciate you.
Thank you, David. Good to meet you. Ismail? David.
David.
Yes, yes. I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast. Whenever news breaks,
We are here in Israel, a nation at war.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this town.
From Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike.
ABC News Live everywhere.
In Iceland, let's go.
On the 2024 campaign trail.
Here at 10 Downing Street.
Wherever the story is.
We're going to take you there.
You're streaming
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere.
Betrayal is one of the hardest types of trauma to overcome.
This is her knight in shining armor.
Everything felt right. All of a sudden, I found this hidden folder. I opened it. I don't think I can say it. I'm sorry. It's shocking. My stomach just dropped. He just really didn't think I had it in me to do something. So I did.
Betrayal, a father's secret. The all-new season on Hulu. First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
We're still in a flash flood warning. To catch you up with what happened overnight. Police in riot gear arresting dozens of protesters.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about. The migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
Check out the Gator on the 17th hole.
The buzzkill in baseball.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture, with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food. It's all coming up on GMA3.
You're going to love it. We'll see you then.
GMA3, what you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, afternoons.
For everything you need to know.
I love that.
Me too.
Reporting from the Normandy coast for the 80th anniversary of D-Day, I'm David Muir. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. The American Academy of Family Physicians recently issued a report calling on doctors to screen their patients for signs of loneliness. They say it's a significant medical issue and it's affecting more and more people. So we're going to take a look by the numbers. 58% of Americans now say they are lonely. And that's up from 46% in 2018, according to a survey by Cigna Health Insurance. The changing ways we work is fueling much of the rise in loneliness. More than 40% of remote workers say they go days without leaving the house. That was in a Bright Horizons poll last year. And those who work in an office still spend nearly 1/4 of their time in virtual meetings and only 8% of their time in face-to-face meetings. That's according to data from the real estate company Cushman & Wakefield. Overall, our time spent in meetings has tripled in recent years. Data from Microsoft shows, and that leaves less time for those casual interactions that social scientists say fosters happiness. It may explain why just 68% of workers on the professional coaching platform BetterUp said that they know their coworkers on a personal level. That's down from 79% just 5 years ago. And all that isolation comes at a cost, $154 billion a year in employee absenteeism alone. That's according to Cigna as well. And listen to this. This is more concerning. Doctors say social isolation is equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day in terms of premature death. Some troubling numbers indeed. There's still much more ahead here on Prime. We'll lighten the mood a little bit. D23, the Disney mega fan event kicking off in California. Our Rebecca Jarvis has an exclusive look inside the magic at Disneyland. And she has created a whole new world of music where classical meets the energy of electronic and dance music. Ahead of her largest tour to date, violin savant Lindsey Sterling visits us right here on the set, gives us a look at her newest album, Duality.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed.
Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas,
Edinburgh, Scotland.
from Poland once again tonight. Thank you so much for streaming with us. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw. Do you think you'll ever be able to go back home? We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City. Splintered houses and splintered lives. And the magnitude of the devastation. You're streaming ABC News Live. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Raleigh, North Carolina, the U.S. Capitol, Mayfield, Kentucky,
Minneapolis,
Mexico, Tongass National Forest, Alaska.
Getting you behind the stories as they happen, giving you a front row seat to our world as it plays out in real time, live.
ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights, America's most honored streaming news program, only on ABC News Live. Streaming free right now wherever you stream your news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
We're still in a flash flood warning. To catch you up with what happened overnight. Police in riot gear arresting dozens of protesters.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about. The migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
Check out the Gator on the 17th hole.
The buzzkill in baseball.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
They call him the beauty queen killer. He's targeting young women in malls.
I am single. I want to join the company of a number of women.
He tortured me.
How did she survive 9 days of terror?
The word accomplice came up.
Nobody knows the real story.
The Beauty Queen Killer. Only on Hulu.
I'd heard my grandmother scream.
The murders of a husband and wife found dead inside their home.
Brandon is the last person to see his parents.
There were wild revelations.
Brandon's secret life.
They were saying he was a murderer, and there was just no possible way.
Brandon was up there. He could have gotten this gun.
Who's wrong? Somebody's wrong.
Now, the powerful prison interview.
Why should we believe you?
2020, tonight at 9/8 Central on ABC.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're going to love it.
Why Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories. Start here.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Make it your daily first listen, wherever you get your podcasts.
It's been 1 year of loss and grief, but resilience, too, for the people of Lahaina. 1 year since those deadly wildfires. Tonight, we want to give you a look at the community coming together after such enormous loss. Residents and leaders seeing tragedy as a catalyst for change, building a stronger Hawaii for future generations. It is all part of an ABC network-wide special Maui 808, the fight for Hawaii's future. Here's part of that with actor Jason Scott Lee.
After the Lahaina fires, I feel like Hawaii will come back stronger. It only brings the people together more. It's also a chance for new things to grow and new life to grow, so Hawaii will only get better from that.
A month after the Lahaina fire, on the turquoise ocean where the horizon meets the sky, hundreds of residents gathered on their surfboards to grieve, heal, and honor the victims in a timeless Hawaiian surfing tradition known as the paddle out.
They usually do like a big pule, which is a prayer with everyone, and they bless the place with a Hawaiian prayer and a chant.
Forming an unbroken circle, the community splashes water to the heavens in a profound expression of love, loss, and continuity. For Hawaiians, who are masterful ancient voyagers, the ocean has always been important, spiritually and physically.
Surfing, Hawaii's gift to the world.
It is not widely known across the world that surfing was invented by native Hawaiians.
Being a Hawaiian, native Hawaiian surfing, the way I practice it every day is just having that sense of culture with me, having that connection with your ancestors and that mana.
Ezekiel Lau is part of a new generation of proud Hawaiian surfers who are fighting back against cultural erasure.
I feel like it's my kuleana to just share my experiences and be that guide or that mentor that, I wish I had when I was younger, and so I feel like it's my responsibility. What's up, Kai?
Hey, morning, Zeke.
Morning.
This past year was my first year competing as a professional, and Zeke has been helping me. Like, I haven't been to these places before, and he has.
Waves look good, so we'll just get out there and work on just staying sharp.
There's not a whole lot of actual native Hawaiian surfers on the scene. That makes it even more important for me, just keeping this culture going and making sure that we're pushing the future of Hawaiians in the right direction.
Kai, Zeke, and other Hawaiian surfers are reclaiming ownership of the sport, an act that their ancestors had to let go of.
Our Polynesian ancestors were probably surfing all across the Pacific. So surfing was an intimate part of being Hawaiian.
Hawaiians were surfing thousands of years ago and was looked at as evil by the missionaries. But really, it was an expression for Hawaiians for love and joy of the sea.
The broader collective, mainstream culture does associate surfing with California, with Australia, kind of like the surfer dude and bro culture. That erasure, again, is just another example of Native Hawaiians' contribution to the world that aren't acknowledged.
While missionaries banned surfing, Christian converts banned hula. And later, when the Hawaiian monarchy was overthrown by American businessmen, the teaching of the native Hawaiian tongue was outlawed for 91 years.
It's cultural genocide, total erasing of our culture and bringing in outsiders that were being educated by us and then becoming the knowledgeable ones.
all school systems need to use and operate in the English language. It was another site of cultural erasure.
My great-grandfather's generation was sent to schools, that forced them to speak English. Children were beaten.
Without Hawaiian language, you can't understand Hawaiian culture or Hawaiian history.
Our language, our culture, and our connection to our place. And those things were, strategically taught out of us to become Americanized.
After almost a century, the ban on the teaching of the Hawaiian language in school was lifted. That was in 1987.
And then we see how that leads to the creation of the Aha Punana Leo School. There are these little schools where everything, the instruction, the teaching, every aspect of it involves Olelo Hawaii.
These radical efforts have revitalized the language from the brink of extinction, spawning a new generation of native tongue speakers.
My parents just really made an effort to put me and my siblings in immersion schools so that we would be immersed in our culture and would be fluent in both English and Hawaiian.
Eve Wong is a professional surfer who's perpetuating the Hawaiian culture through both language and sport.
Ha'aheo vo, he wahine he inalu vo.
Here goes Eve.
Surfers in the first heat, hold your position. We are now less than moments away.
Zeke, pulling in on the takeoff.
At a recent surfing state championship on Oahu, both Eve and Zeke earned top spots.
So I'm just really happy and stoked. I got my family here, my daughter, so couldn't ask for anything more today.
It's our kuleana, our responsibility to uphold the traditions of our ancestors and to pass it on to generations to come so that it doesn't ever get lost.
We're counting this heat down.
Our thanks to Jason Scott Lee for that. Tune in to Maui Rising, the fight for Hawaii's future, tonight on ABC at 8 p.m., 7 Central, and streaming tomorrow on Hulu. Few artists embody boundless creativity quite like our next guest. The multi-award-winning musician is known for her genre-bending electronic violin and one-of-a-kind dance moves, now out with her latest album, Duality, and kicking off her largest tour to date. The sky seems to be the limit, literally, for Lindsey Sterling. Let's take a look. And now she's added aerial to the mix. Lindsey, thanks so much for joining us or being back on the show. It's good to have you back. Let's start by, some people play the violin really well. Some people dance really well. When did you decide to mash the two?
Oh man, to be honest, I started to mash the two when I was in my 20s because I wanted to perform. I'm currently on a tour right now, and touring is really the reason that I started this whole journey. Was I wanted to entertain people, and the music I was writing, I was like, man, I gotta move while I play this kind of music.
And that was it.
That was it.
I've heard you say you are a creative person through and through.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like playing an instrument, a lot of people play an instrument, but what you do with the violin, we just showed some of it there, and now you have added aerial to the mix. When did you decide to go airborne?
Oh, well, yeah, the ground got boring. No, but dancing and moving is so much fun, and I love putting that in my show. And then when I started to dabble in aerial, and I realized that I could play the violin while spinning on a hoop upside down. With a lot of practice is how I realized that. But it just was like, oh my gosh, this is something new, exciting. It's so fun to see the audience react to it every night. Yeah.
As a fan of what you do and someone who plays a stringed instrument, how do you not miss a note?
Ooh.
I'm sure you would say, oh, I do every once in a while, but
do.
the audience doesn't hear it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
How do you keep the violin so on point when you're upside down spinning around?
Honestly, practice. I've been doing it, and it always feels impossible when I start a new skill. I'm like, oh, this will never work. But I've learned that if you just keep at something long enough, and even a few days before we went on this tour, there's a certain new trick I've added to the show that I was ready and prepared to cut, but I was gonna work at it until the first show, and literally I got it solid just in time.
Amazing. In June, you came out with your 7th studio album,
Yes.
Duality. And what really, this must have been really cool for you. Did you know in advance that Suni Lee was going to use a piece of your music for the flow routine?
I did. I actually knew it ahead of time because she used it in Tokyo, another song, and so I was surprised that time. And this time I knew it was coming, and I like literally cried through her whole routine. It was really magical.
It was a perfect piece. After that first pass, where your violin's going the first pass, and then the music kicks in and the drama, and it was, yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was emotional.
Take us through the process of incorporating dance. I mean, when I watched the show, you know, you have your guitarist on stage with you and drummer, and you have this band. Incorporating dance choreography in the routine.
Yeah. Well, I also have 5 amazing dancers. Like, it's a very theatrical show with lots of costumes changes, you know, aerial acrobatics, as we talked about, and then my band, the dancers. I mean, I really have to say, this is the show I'm the most proud of that I've ever put together. And it really is, like, there's not a chance to get bored in the show. Like, you're constantly, there's always something to look at. If it's not me, it's one of my cute dancers or amazing acrobats. Like, it's fun.
Yeah, and I just like your guitarist as well, because
he's awesome.
You guys played Kashmir by Led Zeppelin at Lollapalooza, which is one of my favorites. Just let me ask you a question, because, you know, people can see young, successful, but it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
And, you know, you played classical violin till you were 20 about. What would you say to a younger version of you who's playing an instrument and maybe wants to go beyond the boundaries of what traditionally playing an instrument is when you're a kid?
Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give?
Experimentation, you know, like, it wasn't until I was about my 20s that I started to realize, like, maybe there is a different way to play the violin, you know, and maybe there is. And it wasn't like I saw someone doing exactly what I do now, and that made me be like, I'm gonna do. It was just like seeing other people being creative in their own way, and it just gave me the courage to experiment and try to do something maybe that I hadn't heard before. And, you know, that takes a little bit of bravery, but I would say just having fun and experimenting. Let yourself be a little wild with it.
The music is fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming back to the show. We really do appreciate it. And you can catch Linsey's new album, Duality. It's out now, and she's on tour. You can get tickets now. And finally tonight, D23, the ultimate Disney fan experience, is underway in Anaheim. Our Rebecca Jarvis is there and got to speak with Bob Iger, the CEO of our parent company, Disney, about what to expect and the surprises for the future.
Welcome to the happiest place on earth.
It really feels like it. People all over the place excited about D23.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Can I get a photo, please?
You're the Disney princess, suddenly.
On the eve of D23, a kind of ultimate Disney mega fan event, CEO Bob Iger taking us inside the magic at Disneyland.
Every time I've been to this event, I leave with a sense of incredible pride, but actually a real sense of joy, seeing what impact we've had on people all over the world, and to see it up close. And it's an extraordinary feeling.
Any surprises this year you can let us in on ahead of time?
I'm not going to break any news here because I don't want to spoil the surprise. There are many.
This summer, Disney has surprised and delighted audiences with films from Deadpool and Wolverine to Inside Out 2.
I'm Anxiety. I am just such a huge fan of yours.
Breaking box office records, becoming the highest-grossing animated film ever, topping $1.5 billion at the box office.
It also happens to be the first film I saw in a theater with my 5-year-old daughter, and she loved it. What do you think the secret was there?
I have to react to what you just said, because the first film that I saw as a 5-year-old was Cinderella.
Oh.
My grandparents took me to a Disney film when I was 5, and I actually still remember that. So,
and mine was Pinocchio, and I got scared when his nose grew.
Yes, Pinocchio was a scary movie, but it's just interesting that here we are as adults remembering that first film, and it was a Disney film, and your daughter will have the same, I think, the same memory. You know, every single transaction that this company experiences emanates from great creativity and great storytelling. It all starts right there. And when I returned to the company in 2022, it was very, very clear to me that we had to put creativity back to basically the center of this company.
So what does the future hold?
How do you think about the incorporation of things like AI and animatronics and all of that?
I think, first of all, it's really important that in a world where technology provides people with these visual experiences that are stunning in many ways and look real, I think we have to remember that the experience of coming to one of our parks is an immersive experience in a physical environment. The reality here is real, you know, and I think that's important. So I don't want to lose that. But we also know that new generations of people in our world grow up with these incredible and stunning visual images. And so you have to deliver on that expectation, too.
They're everywhere, by the way, everywhere.
How are you all?
The way that we're getting our content is changing. What the consumer is expecting out of all of it is starting to change. How do you navigate that as the CEO?
Well, I started at ABC 50 years ago. So I've been in the entertainment business in some form or another for 5 decades. And over that period of time, almost everything has changed. One thing has not changed, and that is the importance of and the power of storytelling, and the need for people and the want of people to be entertained. And I think that's probably never been as true as it is today. It's something the world needs.
Which is exactly what Disney expects to do with the release of Moana 2 this Thanksgiving. The trailer for the much-anticipated sequel setting a company record with 178 million views in its first 24 hours.
You have Moana 2 coming out. That is another big excitement in our home.
I watched the cut of the film, and it's very exciting. We learned in the first film just what an unbelievable adventure Moana is, and I can only say that she is going to prove that yet again to us. And she has a great relationship with her younger sister, who is kind of a breakout star of the film to come in many ways.
Speaking of sequels, my daughter would love to see Inside Out 3. Any chance of that?
Well, since I said I wasn't going to in any way spoil any surprises, and I'm not, I would love to see Inside Out 3 as well.
You would?
I'll just leave it at that.
It all looks great, Rebecca, thanks. And that's our show for this hour. I'm Phil Lipoff. Stay with ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Good night.
Let's go. The ship is incredible. It feels like living in a science fiction movie.
We just saw what no one has